think we're going to get started here. And first off, on behalf of the city and on behalf of the Revere Police Department and your Ward 4 City Councilor, Steve Reardon, I want to welcome all of you here. My name is Danny Rizzo. I'm the mayor of the city. And before I just say a few brief words to get this kicked off, I want to introduce some people that are here, some elected officials that have chosen to spend some time with us and help participate in keeping our neighborhood safe. In no particular order, I'm going to introduce them. We have City Councilor Brian Arrigo. We have City Councilor John Correggio. We have School Committee Man Dan McGuire. We have School Committee Woman Stacey Rizzo. From our Revere Neighborhood Advisory Council, Scott Capeluzzi. We have, who else is out there? Anybody else? Okay. Did I miss anybody? Okay. So we have been, over the last 6 or 8 months, traveling throughout the city, the different areas of the city, to try to organize some crime watch groups. Actually put together some substantive crime watch groups that are, people willing to go out, talk to their neighbors, put together little groups in their neighborhoods that will all agree that we're going to kind of keep an eye on each other. We're going to keep the police department informed, let them know what's going on. If we see things in our neighborhood that we don't want there, that we don't think should be there, that could be a detriment to your families, could be a detriment to your neighborhood. So we're very, very interested in attacking problems that are ruining the quality of life and really impacting whole neighborhoods. Because sometimes all it takes is that one house that can actually really, once that first family next door to that house moves out, then the next family moves out, and the next family moves out, and it can really have an impact on an entire neighborhood, having that one bad house that just seems to be causing problems day in and day out. And these are problems that I know I'm very personally interested in addressing, and I know that our police department is very, very interested in addressing. And in fact, I know your ward counselor is very interested in addressing after working with him now for several years. So with that, I do want to introduce your ward counselor, hardworking counselor that I know is always in my office talking about issues that are important to him and to you as constituents of his, and that's your ward counselor, Steve Reardon.
Thank you very much, Dan, and I want to thank you, Dan, and his administration for following up on this crime watch issue. Obviously, it's very important. I'll just say a couple of words about the situation. This crime watch has been very, very successful in Ward 1, as many of you know. Eileen Mundis runs the show up there pretty much, and they do a great job. They have their own website. They have really built a community around this, so to speak. And I think that's, in addition to helping us prevent and fight crime, it's also a great community builder, I think. You get to know your neighbors, you get to know the hardworking people in the city, you get to appreciate how many good people we really have in the city, and we have a ton of good people in the city. So I think it's more than just fighting crime. It's helping the community in many, many other ways. We have the police officers here who've been running this for a long time. Officer Salvetti has been here, and the chief is here. Officer Salvetti's been running this for a couple of years. We had a meeting here a while ago. I think the most important piece of information, or the most important plan we can do at this point, is try to expand our communication. Because people work, they go to work, they come back, they have their supper, they go to bed, they're in their homes. You really don't see them, especially during the winter, a lot. So what we really need is some form of communication so that everybody can sort of get together without actually having to be in the same place. And I think the internet is probably, we find in the social networks that we use, we find that they the ways people can stay in contact and be together when they actually can't physically be together. So what I'm hoping that comes out of this is that we get 7 or 8, maybe more, maybe a few less, people who are really dedicated to getting together and acting as a committee and acting in a fashion to kind of coalesce this situation. I am willing to, within reason of course, I have a website. Most of our city government people have their own website. I have a website. It's not that expensive. I am willing to fund a website for Ward 4 Crime Watch group. If someone who is far more technically proficient than me is willing to put the work into it. So that's my offer here. I'll be part of it, and I'll get together with you. But we need cooperation from as many people. I mean, it's one thing to come here for a meeting and say, "Geez, I'm really interested in this thing. I'd really like to get involved." But what's really more important is everybody pitching in to do a little bit of legwork. So I'm suggesting we have information cards here that Officer Salvetti is handing out. I believe there's a sign-up sheet. We need, obviously, to engage the internet, to engage social media. We need your personal email address. That's probably the single most important piece of information we can get here right now, because we really don't need to know too much else. If we can contact you, that way. So again, I'm offering to do that. I'll be part of the committee. I don't want to be telling people what to do, because you people have to decide what needs to be done, not me. I'll be part of it, but I'm not going to be up here and start pointing fingers, you do this, you do that. That's not my job. I have many other jobs in the city. I frankly don't have the time to take this on. But some of you out there, I'm sure, do have the time and are as interested in it as me to cooperate together and get something like this off the ground. So there you have it, and I hope this is going to be successful, and I hope we can get together a real community-wide, particularly Ward 4-wide effort to be able to implement some of the programs that the police department has and be able to take care of each other. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councilor. You know, as I look around, you know, every large group starts with a small group, right? So, you know, I know there's people here, as Councilor Reardon alluded to, that can take the ball and really lead the charge. And you know, that's how it started in Ward 1. They've got a great Crime Watch group over there that started off with just a few people that said they had enough. They wanted to go around and start cleaning up their neighborhood, and that's what they did. And you know, before you know it, they had 3 people, 5 people, 10 people, and it grew from there. And now they have a real network of people that really take care of things. You know, it really doesn't take much other than a commitment to keep your neighborhood safe. And I know everybody here, just by virtue of you being here, wants to see that happen. Before I introduce just a couple other people, I just want to introduce some members of my staff that are here with us, and you probably see them around, or if you ever come up to my office, I have my chief of staff over there sitting down, Miles Lane Kennedy. David Krasnoff in the back. David, thank you for being here. Eddie West and Joyce Fiduccio. Joyce, thank you. Thank you all for being here. We have also some members of our, you'll be hearing from Officer Salvati and also from Chief Caffarelli, but I do want to introduce a couple other people that are here. That's Lieutenant Amy O'Hara. She's their public relations officer and does a great job out there. And also retired Revere police officer and former U.S. Marshal Dennis Michello, who is also a community service officer now working over in our new substation, which we'll be unveiling here right in the middle of your ward sometime in the very, very near future. It's going to be right across the street from City Hall on Pleasant Street, kind of almost in the same area where the former police station was. So you will now have a new and once again permanent location where police department staff will be located. So you know, I know a lot of people, when the police station moved down to the Parkway, felt as though that, you know, you were being abandoned, you lost some sort of visibility with respect to police presence. We're now bringing that back up to this end when we open up that new substation, probably, the next week or two, somewhere around there. So,
we'll have ribbon cutting in the next couple of weeks, but it is functioning now. It's open now. Yeah.
Fantastic. So it's already functioning. So they're already ahead of the game. So we're very, very happy about that, and because it is our goal, obviously, to do as much as we can to make the public safe. If you're not safe in your own homes, if you don't feel as though that your family is safe, your quality of life is diminished exponentially. So that has been a real priority of mine. I have to say, probably my number one priority since not only running for mayor, but since taking office 2 Januaries ago. So, and this will continue to be a priority of mine. So, with that, I'd like to bring up a guy who I'm very, very proud of, has done a terrific job, has made a lot of changes that I believe are positive, and has, really, there's 24 hours in a day, somehow he manages to work 26. So he's doing a terrific job, very, I think that Lieutenant O'Hara and Officer Salvati would agree with me that he's turned out to be an excellent chief, and I'm very proud to introduce now Chief Joe Kepler.
And once I finish my 26 hours here, my wife has things for me to do when I get home. So rest assured, there's no sleep in my future. Thank you for coming tonight. If I could reiterate something that the mayor said, is when we moved our police station off Broadway, we left the void. Nobody anticipated that. I certainly didn't anticipate it. I don't think city government anticipated it, but the fact remains that it is there. Henceforth, one of the first things we decided to do, myself and the mayor, was we need to get that substation open up on Broadway. We need to bring our presence back to this area. You deserve it. Just by nature of geography and Pleasant Street being a one-way street, if the police needed to get back to the station for any reason, you had to come down Broadway to do it. That in and of itself maintained a strong police presence in the Broadway area. When we moved to the Parkway, we lost it. We gained a lot in the building. It's a state-of-the-art facility. We want for nothing down there. However, we lost presence here. So we need to regain that ground before it's too late, and we're striving to do that with the help of Officer Salvetti, Lieutenant O'Hara, retired Officer Michella. We're doing that. Our substation is open. We're going to have our ribbon cutting. When is it? Probably when we get the sign printed. Once the sign comes in, we'll cut the ribbons. But it is operational. It's functioning. We got some staffing issues we're working on. We're trying to sort out maybe getting some interns in there to maintain a little more coverage so that it'll be open more often.
Oh.
That said, getting back to the crime watch, if I could reiterate what Councilor Reardon said, communication is the key. What has happened, and it's not just Revere, it's across the country, it's around the world. We've really isolated ourselves. You think that as the world's gotten smaller, you would be a close-knit community. That's not the case. People tend to, you get home, you lock your doors, and you ignore what's going on around you. You try to maybe batten down the hatches, whatever. It's your neighborhood. It's my neighborhood. My parents are still on, my father just passed away. My mother's still on Mountain Avenue. We got a stake in the game here. It's our neighborhood. You need to talk to your neighbors. Just because you may not go to the same school, maybe you don't go to the same church, you don't belong to the same social groups, your neighbors are still going to be your neighbors. I mean, I can't think of anything that would happen where maybe your neighbor's in trouble, you wouldn't want to help them out if you could. Be that whatever the case may be, you're going on vacation, you talk to your neighbors and grab your mail. So it isn't as obvious that no one's home. If you see somebody around there, call us. That's what we're here for. One of the things that, and I don't want to keep, beating a dead horse, but one thing that seems to come up almost every Crime Watch meeting is, I hate to bother you. That's what we're here for. You're not bothering us. That's our job. You call, we come. It couldn't be any simpler than that. You call, we're coming. The good thing about the Crime Watch is when you're sitting down, when you have meetings, You get to know your neighbors. Okay, and if it's something that you think may not rise to the level of calling the police, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't, I don't, you know, you can get information as well. You can get plate numbers or times of day when the same car may come to your neighborhood. These are the things that can help us build a case. Just because you call the police and they're dealing drugs next door doesn't mean we're going to be kicking down the door 15 minutes later. It takes a while to build a case. It's manpower intensive, and it's expensive. So, but it's not insurmountable. It's something we will do. It starts with you. Now, being the social media age, we have Twitter, Facebook. You can drop tips anonymously on any means possible. We just got our hotline back up. That's 781-286-8847. We're going to try to publish that a little bit more, get it out on Facebook, on Twitter, but also in the newspapers.
Repeat the last one.
Sure, 781-286-8847. That's not just for drugs. It's any sort of a tip line that any sort of criminal activity you may come across. You need to call us. You know, it's a collaborative effort between police and the public we serve. We can't do it alone. If it was left up to us, we're just going to drive around, and if we see a crime, we're going to grab somebody. But that's why we got these radios. We have computers in the cars. We have all some of the best technology available. But it starts with you, and I can't stress that enough. Calling in to the police department. But as a collaborative approach that Crime Watch does, it builds your team, lets you know your neighbors. You know, maybe your neighbors are away. When you do see somebody, or maybe if your neighbors are going to tell you, listen, I'm going to have a guy coming by who's going to be fixing the roof or something like that. Okay, now you know about it. You know, you let your neighbor know so that they're not calling the police, you know, erroneously. It's not either way. We're going to come. But that's the key to Crime Watch, is being on the same page, communicating with each other. I can't stress that anymore. Let's see, some of the things we've kicked around in a number of different Crime Watch meetings. One of the ones, it was just mentioned, brought up again, putting your house numbers. I'd be happy if everybody had them on the front of the house. You'd be amazed how many people don't have the house numbers on the front of the house. We'll go to a call, we're looking for, say, 100 Mountain Ave, and the numbers will stop at 90 and pick up at 110. Which one's 100? You know, and now you've got somebody, maybe, God forbid, it's a medical emergency, you got a child choking or something like that, seconds count. Seconds are a lifetime. I can't stress to you enough, keep the numbers on the front door. And if you're really ambitious, put them on the back of the house too, because your neighbors up behind you, they may see somebody going through the back of your house, kicking in the back door. And you live on, say, on Proctor Ave, you're looking at the house on Mountain Ave. What's the number? I don't know, it's the green one. You laugh. I mean, I wish I could tell you how many times we've gone to call. It's the greenhouse. There's 5 houses that are green with red shutters. Okay, we'll get there. We'll get it eventually. Something as simple as that. Put the numbers on the back. You know, so your neighbors behind you can report a crime if something's going on. You know, the bad guys don't necessarily kick in the front door. If they can get in the back door and be a little more covert about it, they're certainly going to do that. So something like that is huge. It's a big tool, for us. Cutting away the shrubs around your windows. There's a number of different things. Making sure if you have ladders or something like that, anything around the house, chain it up so that it can't be used. Somebody going, we've got guys like that. He's up, all you see is his feet sticking out the window. At 3 in the morning, he's probably not fixing the window. But he's got the ladder out of the backyard, up against the side of the house, going through the window. Lock it up. First of all, they're expensive. They'll steal that thing, an aluminum ladder, and scrap it. But second, they'd be used against you. There's a number of different things. Officer Salvati has spent a lot of time putting his handouts together. A bunch of tips that can help you form your crime watch. Form a cohesive neighborhood, form a cohesive unit that you can, have one voice and know each other. Jerry, you all set? I'm going to pass you over to the capable hands of Officer Salvati. Thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. I'm Officer Salvati. Thank you all for coming. Thank you, Chief, the Mayor, Councilor Reardon. just, I think, was it last year, Council Red and I had a, was it last year, Councilor?
I think it was a little more
A
than.
little more than a year ago, we had a meeting in Ward 4, and we talked about it with the mayor. At the time, the mayor was a councilor, Chandler was a councilor too, and we had a meeting here, and we said all our stuff, and we never got to the next step we were looking to get to. Like the mayor said, he's very dedicated to getting this through citywide. And as we've been doing it, the chief, I, and the mayor, Lieutenant O'Hara, we're getting a lot more feedback now. As today, myself, Joyce from the City Hall, and School Committee, Stacy Rizzo, had a nice meeting today, and she's gonna take up one of the block captains as well as Joyce. So, and we have Pat Keefe. You wanna stand up, Pat? He lives in the neighborhood, another volunteer there. I think I got an email from someone else today, so it's 4 today that are dedicated to Ward 4. This is how it works. It starts with people, it's all volunteer, like the chief said. You know your neighborhood. Like I was talking to council, school committee woman, Bristol today. Every neighborhood is different. You know who lives in your neighborhood, you know what the different problems are, whether it's kids hanging around, it can be a house that's disorderly. You know, this is what we're here to help for. We have meetings, we get the block captains that'll be dedicated to this area, as we will in other sectors of the city, like Ward 1. And through the mayor's dedication and the chief, this is gonna be a great thing for the city. It doesn't cost a dime. It's all dedication from you folks and us. We work together. I have a gentleman from East Boston, Vinny. He runs up in East Boston Neighborhood Watch. He came down. He sends out the flyers himself, puts on a piece of paper, and goes out and hands them.
It don't take a lot. I mean, I'm not supposed to put them through the mail slot, but I do. So I could get in trouble, but just get a plain piece of paper. I don't know, you probably can go to the police department or city hall. The mayor would let you use stenciling machine. Cause I don't do emails or that phone call. When you put that in that hall, you know the people are getting it. And we had great results in East Boston.
Thank you, Vinny. Like I said, the second meeting he came to Ward 6. Thank you. And I said, this is what it's all about, working with our elected bureau. We have Councilor Correggio. Him and I are working on a planned date, sometime May or June, for his ward there, but you know, he's citywide, but up in Ward 3 there by Lincoln School. We had one there last year with the mayor. And like I said, it works and it's getting stronger. And this is what it takes, just people like yourselves that are concerned about your neighborhood. Every neighborhood is different. Like I say to them, Mayor and I talk about this all the time. You know, what you have on Broadway might be different what you have on, in Beachmont. There's different issues. You folks live there, you tell us what it is, whether it's a police issue, something we can get, you know, the code enforcement involved, the fire department, maybe DPW or the mayor's office. The mayor's open to helping out. And like I says, you have a great opportunity here with the chief. The mayor's dedication is unbelievable, what he wants to do. Myself and retired Officer Michelle, we're gonna be working across the street in the office there, at the substation. We'll be there Monday through Friday. And if you have any questions, feel free to come in. I had a meeting today, and tell us what you think we can do to help you. It's your group that gets together, like Vinny does in East Boston. They set it up, and we come and we oversee it. We bring the councils in. We got the school committee here, and Dan McGuire, got Stacy Rizzo. It's everybody together. It's all for one thing, to make your neighborhood and your city safer. That's what we strive for. Like the mayor said, we all have a great opportunity here to go forward. And in your packs I put together, please look through them. There's all kind of great information here. Got them all in here. I won't go through every one of them, but if you have any question, it tells you what you block captains do. And as I said, it's all volunteer. It tells you what you know, basically do is we have 3 to 4 meetings a year in this ward, in each ward. They can have up to 5, it all depends on how many people want. It tells you how to organize it, how to go, like Councilor Ray was saying, get a web page. Send out a message. We'll have a meeting here. We can have it at the city hall. Whoever is good in your ward here, we're open to anything. You let us know what's good for you, and we come. And this is what this is all about. Hopefully now that we have these volunteers here, the next meeting will be just about what can we do to solve the problems in your neighborhood, in your streets. That's what we're here for, to work with you, open up. Like I said, gonna have myself and Officer Michelle there. We're gonna be walking Broadway, walking and talking. We're gonna be riding the bikes. We're gonna be out there with the people, interacting. We're here to serve you through the chief. Any problems you have, I email the chief. I had a problem we had up on Reservoir Ave with Ann out there, a dear friend of ours. They had some car breaks up there, and she was very concerned about it.
Broke into my shed.
And emailed the chief, and the chief put an order out, and he's got more cars going up there. Stacy was telling me that as of today, we had a meeting today, she said that they had a little problem up Master Street by Mountain Ave, and she said the police cruiser's been parking there in the afternoon. So when we get information from you folks, we go to the chief, he deems it that it's a problem, and that's how we solve it. And this is what we're all about, folks. We're here to help you, help our make our city better through the dedication of the mayor, which I can say from day one, as a councilor, him and I had numerous meetings citywide. As the mayor, he said, you better do the right thing or you're gonna be in trouble. But like I said, folks have a great opportunity in the city of Revere under the leadership of Mayor Rizzo and the chief. So we'll be open to answer any questions. I'd like to bring up, can I bring up Stacy for 1 second, Chief? I'd like to just introduce Stacy Rizzo, the school committee woman, for 1 second, and then I guess the chief wants to say something.
I'm not a public speaker, so don't mind all the D's and Dows. I want to thank Joyce DiNuccio for getting me involved. I want to thank Officer Salvati for meeting with us today, and things look really positive. Just want to say crime comes in all shapes, sizes, ways. I live in an area that we about the highway, so no one sees anything that goes on in that area. And most of our crimes happen in daylight. People just think of nighttime. We've had ODs just a couple of months ago. My neighbor got broken in last month. Here is a crime that no one thinks of, and I was just telling him today. We got a letter from Comcast saying that we were being fined $28,000 for pirating and downloading movies. I don't even know how to put my TV on with the remote. But what we found out is there is a vehicle that would be sitting outside our house and would get into our internet, and that's how they were downloading it. So it was a whole new lesson for us. We didn't pay $28,000, and they had no shot of getting a penny. But that's another way crime happens. So now when we do see cars that come on a routine basis, I don't think twice about calling. And they're nice enough to come out, and it's going to protect us. Unfortunately, I called a few weeks ago about someone, and I was writing down the time every day that they were coming. The poor man is on his break, and he does his scratch tickets. I went out, I apologized, he understood, and that's fine. Two things I want, if you don't take anything else away today, there's two small things that are easy to protect yourself with. One is the Revere Police Department has a new app. You can put it on your phone, you can put it on your computer. It's called MyPD. It will send you out tweets. I'm not a tweeter, but it will send it in an email form. Today it tweeted about the phone lines being upgraded, so there might be a little break in service. You can submit a tip. You can even commend an officer for doing such a wonderful job. There's many great things on this app. So if anything, look into it, use it. Started a couple of years ago, Beachmont women started doing their crime watch. Went to theirs. One of the things they told me about, and I've never stopped, is the dollar store. These are alarms bought in the dollar store for $1. Hello. Comes with batteries too. You can use them on your windows if you want. I have a lot of seniors, so I went out and I ordered from the company itself 2 cases. But what I found also is you can use them. I walk the dog at night. I have it on his leash. You can just flip it. When you flip it, yeah.
You just woke me up.
I'm sorry. And it works remarkably. It also, I had a raccoon a couple of weeks ago. It worked on him. He ran. So it's like $1 goes a long way. So I mean, just 2 little things that you can improve your way of life a little bit more. I hope you write down your email. We would like to get together. We'll send out emails when we plan on getting together. Officer Salvati, we had the opportunity to look at the new substation. Nice, I love the walls, pretty. So we hope that you get on board. I know Pat Keefe, we're gonna grab him. And Joyce. Pat has the younger leg, so we can have him do more walking. But a little at a time, if, you know, a couple of people jump on board. Hey, even if we get a cup of coffee and we hear about what's going on in the area, I'd like to meet any of you. So, thank you, Officer Salvati.
Thank you for coming up and speaking. Thank you.
Yes.
That's what we're looking for, is people like her and everyone like you. Anybody can get involved, that's what we're about. One thing I do have in this form, Chief, you want to speak? In the file, is everybody should take a look at. Take some time to do it. This is a home.
That's just what I was gonna go over.
You want to go over it? All right, the Chief's gonna go over it.
This is the homework portion of
This is
tonight.
homework, right.
And you look in your packet, there's a home security survey, okay? And when you turn it in, to your own use, you just, try to protect make your home a castle, make it strong. Just some things you want to think about, you may not even think of. On your exterior, and I noticed, just looking at it myself, there's no mention of house numbers, so you might want to, make sure you address that. That really is a bone of contention, and not on the door either. If you're waiting for the police or the fire or the ambulance, and you got the door open and the number's on the door, we're not gonna see it. You know what I mean? Something, make sure it's someplace, it's where it can be seen, big enough it can be seen from the street, not behind the shrubs, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. When seconds count, I can't stress it enough how important it is just to have the right number on there and where we can see it. But just if you look at the checklist, your exterior, the neighborhood watch is right up the top, the shrubs. Limbs are cut below the window level. I mean, it's very, you're driving home tonight or walking home, whatever, you can go by, you can look at houses where you get the shrubs in front of the basement window. Quick kick on the basement window and you're in. No one's ever even gonna see you. Porch landscaping, same thing. If you got a closed or concealed porch, there's no windows or something, or if there are windows, behind shrubs, behind trees, same thing. Somebody can boot a door and you're not even gonna hear them. So things to keep in mind. Actually, I take that back. House numbers are visible. I must have glossed over that one. Mailbox is locked and bicycles and ladders kept inside, I'll lock them up. Your exterior lights, motion lights, I'm not gonna read all of them, but it's a good checklist. It's a good start. And this is at the behest of your watch captain, Joyce D'Annunzio over here. She asked me to go over this for you. Screen doors, Charlie bar, auxiliary lock, on the sliders, it's the old, I do it in my own house. Got like the hockey stick cut down and drop it in place. It works, whatever it takes. Let's see. I would say door to the basement. You see a lot of doors underneath the bulkhead. You can get out inside a bulkhead, kick the door, and no one's even going to see you. You're in the house. Windows locked. What else? I mean, again, take this home, have a good look at it, check your house, make your house secure.
And Chief, in the book too, it has additional, on the home security book, which I know you're probably going through a million things there, but this has a lot of, this has a big checklist in the back too they can look at when they get home.
Anybody else? We ready for questions and answers?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Anybody have any questions at this point?
Chief,
Counsel.
should be mentioned air conditioners in a window.
Yes, air conditioners are securely fastened. I mean, you want to make sure you've got, good full-length screws, into the frame of the house preferably, or into the sill, so that they can't be pushed out. That's been another one. You can push an air conditioner in, climb in the window, like on the first floor, push that air conditioner in. They'll get inside, shut the window, you can't tell. They're in. Walk out the front door like they own the place with everything you own. Sir?
From East Boston, we had, I think Mayor Menino determines how many police calls are made to a house, then he determines that house is a problem house. And if it's such a problem house, they have to have a police detail in front of their house. He really puts the screws to them. But when we found the problem house on our street, the police captain called the man from Saugus down and had to come talk with the police captain. And the police captain said, you have a high amount of calls, and I don't know what he was saying. Police captain gave him a warning that his house was a problem house on Falcon Street.
Now, that is something that we are working on with the mayor's office, with Mr. Krasnoff. We're putting together a safe housing initiative, you know, through, you know, we're probably gonna be upgrading some of our city ordinances or enforcing some of the ones that are on the books that have been neglected over the years. One in particular is, you know, a nuisance house. That's something that is on the books. It's a state statute, as a matter of fact, and we can, you know, target a homeowner, not necessarily the renter.
Right.
Yes, sir.
We moved in about 4 years ago. I think we got broken into, was it 2 years ago, maybe? And I called the police station after I got home for lunch, and they go, oh, you got broken into, you got robbed. But they didn't have our phone number to get a hold of us. How do people know to give the police station our phone number to contact us? They didn't have a way to call us, to let us know.
Really?
The officers went into our house and checked it out. We got there. He was like, yeah, we went through it and looked.
A couple of years ago?
Yes, 18 Wilson. Yeah.
I mean, that's.
And I don't know, how does somebody know that if they're just like coming into the town, city,
Right.
to give the police station info? I don't know if people know that.
Call
they need
takers
to-
should be asking you that, but it's, for whatever reason, obviously, the question wasn't asked.
Right.
I would assume you called from a house number, not a cell, right?
No, my neighbor called and the police officers, I was at work and I came home for
Okay.
lunch, they had already been in there. So I called the police station and he was like, oh yeah, you guys been robbed. And they said, we don't have your phone number to call you.
Okay, so the neighbor called first.
The neighbor called first.
The police
And
responded,
the police
then-
went in and looked at our house, looked in it,
Okay,
and no one had a way to contact us.
I
But
see.
now I guess our phone number's on.
right.
Record.
Well, one thing we try to do, that's a records maintenance problem, you know, that we try to address with.
Yeah.
Between the census, the school department's a big help with that, with, you know, when you register kids in the schools, we get a lot of the information, you know, we have a database, but when you're new to the city, it would be incumbent on you to, you know, make that information
Yeah.
available. But at a time of stress like that, you know, you come home, your house is robbed, well, by the way, you know, it happens all the time. I've been robbed, where I am here.
Yeah.
Who's here? You know, it happens.
Yeah, okay.
That's something, it's communication, you know, problem between the
Right.
both of us, so
Okay.
that's something we can address.
Okay.
Sir?
Chief, my name is Bill Bell. I don't live in Ward 4, I live in Ward 5. I'm trying to get as many tips as I can for our ward. I think you, Jerry Salvati, Mayor Rizzo, and others are doing a great job with this. I caught something about you saying you're trying to upgrade the ordinances and things. I'm speaking from a resident's point of view from Senior Citizen House. I live in the Jack Satter House, and there's been some incidents in the last year. I won't go into them now. I was wondering, because I talked to Jerry earlier, before the meeting started, if ordinances could be adopted or proposed in the city council to have signage in front of a lot of senior citizen buildings, no trespassing, unauthorized residents, things like that. And also, maybe a college could be contacted with their criminal justice program to see if some of the students could get credits to provide some security for some of these buildings. Because as we know, senior citizens are very vulnerable out there. So I was just wondering if you could think about that and maybe could have Jerry or someone else go through some of these senior citizen buildings and make some recommendations for better security.
That might be a good project for your ward council or council at large.
I'd like to see someone with some police expertise to.
Well, with respect to ordinances, that's gonna have to come through the audit, but we can talk to some get some internships with the local university. That's something we do on a regular basis anyhow.
Thank you.
Sure. Sir?
I'm from Ward 5 also, so I think it's a good idea. I've talked to Dan about getting on a committee in my area, because I see a lot happening. I'm on that beach every morning. I see a lot of shit happening. And especially, I can't understand, particularly down here in your ward, because I went out after a few incidents that's happened in the last month, and I'm sure people know. serious incidents where there was four people stabbed, I think it was. And I have a friend that has his kids go to school with some of these gang members. And their choice of hangout is the House of Pizza. Now, my opinion is, like I was talking to Mike, and Mike said, well, you can't take it out on the owner. But my opinion is, if you're an owner and you allow these gangs to hang out and come down there, that's where, if you look at a lot of the incidents, they're starting right out there. And I go by there some nights, and I'm seeing them kids hang out there, and it's a disgrace. I wouldn't want to walk by. I feel bad for the older people.
Well, that's
because I
something
can take care of myself, but I wouldn't want to walk by there.
With the business community on Broadway to have a businessman's crime, business owners crime watch. And we can address problems such as that they can, we can tell them what they can and can't do in their premises, what they can do to curb, kids hanging around their premises.
And
So
I'd like
we're working
to,
on
I
it.
think we should all, I would like to become a member in my area, Ward 5. And I think that it's good that we all get a crime committee together.
Yeah,
And
that's
then
why I'm
maybe
here.
have meetings together and go over some issues.
That's why we're all here.
Because there's a lot of the crimes that happen in this city, and I'm not saying it because I lived here, I've lived here a long time, but a lot of the crimes that happen in this city are people that come into the city. I mean, just like the guy from Chelsea on the beach about a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean.
We don't have
it's
all
good.
night to talk
Yeah,
about
but I mean,
past
I'm not
crimes.
sure, but I mean, I think it's like.
Okay.
I live right at North Gate, and there's a light. It's not a criminal thing, but sometimes it malfunctions.
Yeah.
It becomes very dangerous. Why does that happen, I wonder?
Is it traffic light?
Yes, it's the main light that is on Squire Road. If I go down the street, it could like just never change. Stay red for like 20 minutes, and
That's
then
something we'll have to talk.
it
to the
happens
state
on and off, and you never know when it's
That's
gonna
on
happen.
the state, DPW.
Okay.
You know what, you can just give, if you want to give her that information, and we'll follow up on it in the morning.
Chief, because there was some conversation regarding crime on Broadway or an issue of it. The mayor has put forward a walking patrol down there.
Right.
I mean, that presence in itself is going to add to actually stopping that problem. So I think you're always stepping, forward
Yeah,
with curing that problem.
it's in a state of flux. It's constantly changing. It's something we try to stay ahead of the curve versus behind it so that we can address problems as much
Now
as
you have
possible.
to,
We got a presence back on it, so we're working on the Broadway area. It's not gonna happen overnight, but we're doing the best we can.
Do we still have a drug unit?
Detectives cover all crimes.
Chief, one question, on house alarms, a lot of people seem now to be having house alarms. How effective? A lot of them, I think, are a deterrent. I mean, they.
House alarms are a deterrent, yes. They're loud, they're a deterrent to the crime and fraud, but most come to the station as well, so we get notified and we respond. So they do help. But you need to maintain it. There's a number of residences and businesses that are inherent problems. The alarm goes off every night, and it's like anything, it's like the boy that cried wolf. You go to the same alarm call every night after night after night. Sooner or later, it's not a priority anymore, and you get complacent, and it shouldn't be that way, but that's human nature. You go, and sure enough, somebody's gonna get broken into, and it's gonna be treated as another routine call. So it's incumbent on the business owner, the property owner, to maintain their alarms too. Boss, you got anything to say?
I just want to add a couple things. I don't want to interrupt you, but just a couple quick things. The chief had alluded to the fact that we are going to have a business crime watch that is, is going to incorporate, obviously, all businesses who want to get involved. So we're going to be setting that up a little bit down the road. As for the people here from Ward 5, on May 28th, I'm not sure, Miles, where'd you go, Miles?
It's going to be at the Jack Stata House. I think it's a Tuesday. We're working with them on a couple of dates, but we'll be announcing that.
Okay, so I believe it's May 28th at the Jack Stata House. We're going to be hosting the Ward 5 Crime Watch meeting. But in terms of you wanting to set up your own, the gentleman from East Boston, I think, said it best. I mean, we'll help you. We'll give you all the tools you need as far as making up flyers or something like that.
You got one.
Yeah.
It's a start.
But if you want to make up some flyers and just kind of drop your immediate neighborhood and say you're going to have something, let's say, back at your house, you want to organize your own immediate neighborhood, I'm sure that any one of these officers will be happy to come down and help facilitate that meeting and help you organize your own, because this is what it is, a series of networks of people that are looking out for each neighborhood, right? So, we'd be absolutely happy to help you with that. You don't have to wait till May 28th for that if you don't want to. Just come up to our office or go to the substation where Officer Salvati and former Officer Michelle are, and they can help you with that as well. Okay? So that's all, Chief. I didn't mean to
Anybody have anything else? Sir.
Chief, that's from Ward 4 up on Ridge Road. I have no problems really. I mean, I'm up all night anyway, looking out the front window. Not that I want to. I go up to the end of School Street. Now, the kids come down there going to school in the morning and stuff like that. But I visit people down there, and I come out of their house at night, and the lighting is terrible. And that's a deterrent in itself.
The street lighting?
Yes. There's no lights up there whatsoever. And, I'm sure there's been a few incidents. I know the person I know has had stuff taken from their yard at night, you know what I mean, and like everybody else. But,
if you want to give that to Debbie, we can get that up to the
Sure.
Debbie folks, there have some lights up there. Talk to Verizon, Warner Call, we can probably address that.
And I'm glad you brought up Broadway, because that was a little trip. I've been here 45 years, which is probably shorter than a lot of people here, but I used to see that little friend walking up and down all day, and they're doing it again now. And but at night, I come down the street, and I come down and see a kid laying on the ground with a bunch of kids around him. At 75, I'm not about to get out of the car and do anything, you know what I mean? But I'd like to see some more. I do see them in the day, and I'll come down at night from non-3V or something, and I'll come down Broadway, and I'll see a car sitting at a gas station, which, you feel that Walgreens the problem. I mean, you come out of there some nights, buddies of mine taking stuff, getting robbed or something like that. It's not a very good feeling, and I have had that feeling. I had a shotgun in my stomach at one time. So I don't want to see that happen. But thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Anybody else? Anybody else?
This night, on cell phones also, I got a text twice about 3 weeks ago that there was something wrong with my debit card, to call this number immediately, and I didn't recognize the website, so I called my bank, and I canceled my ATM card and got a new one because it was a scam.
I'm sure. Yeah, as quick as you catch on to one, there's another one coming out. It's the bane of telecommunication, I think, or technology that we have right now in society. You got to be vigilant. Even though it's coming to your phone, you get a text. You got to think. If it isn't from somebody you know or somebody that's not reputable, it's probably a scam. Emails, spam, whatever. Anybody else?
I know you guys do your job. I see a lot of things happening.
We're doing our best.
These parents, man, need to get on these kids. That's about make your job easier. I'm old school. But my dad did 30-something years in the military, and it wasn't like that. These kids are just ripping and running their parents.
Even my
Don't
own
do
kids.
anything.
My kids should be my father's son for 5 minutes.
Right.
It's not the society we live in, unfortunately, but no, I agree.
It's crazy.
You're preaching to the choir.
Right.
Chief, I just have to commend you and Mayor Rizzo. Myself being a retired fire lieutenant, 32 years, I've already seen the difference since you've been chief. Visibility, even the look of the cruisers, the black and white unit, that's pretty impressive. If the whole look of the police department, young officers, I see visibility on Broadway with officers, vehicle stops. So it's just you did a tremendous job.
Even us old officers are working too. Thank you, Council.
Okay. Chief, I've been waiting for Broderick Crawford to get out of one of them cars.
Who?
You know, Broderick Crawford, don't tell me you don't know.
He's too young.
I know
Too
the
young.
name.
Highway Patrol.
He doesn't really. He doesn't. I bet he
First time I
doesn't know.
seen one of them cars, I went, Broderick Crawford.
Highway Patrol.
You don't know who
All
he
right,
is.
all right. I just saw the reruns on Nick at Night. Thank you. Anybody else?
Change of the cruisers.
So thank you very much. Listen, make sure you get some information, talk to your neighbors, and get involved.